What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Pop Life Toys, Alabama J, Jason, whatever you want to call me. We got hacked for the second time on Instagram, but we are back with our regularly scheduled, used to be Saturday night programming. Welcome in, everybody. Hope y'all are doing good. If y'all watch this later, we enjoyed having y'all here, but not. But before we go any further, once he gets his lights set up, we will bring in none other than the Marine that likes the purple crayon, Jarhead Collector. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Unfortunately, as soon as we went live, my sound went out again, so I may have to open up a tab real quick. So I'll be right.
All right, I'll drop you out real quick. All right, so while he fixes his sound again, because his iPhone doesn't like to act right, we are here. I see we got a few people watching already. If you're here, say hello. We are live on Twitch, on Facebook, and of course YouTube. Welcome in, everybody. I hope y'all are gonna have some fun with us tonight. We will talk just about everything collecting. Leave the politics out of it and have some fun tonight. And maybe if we get enough people, we'll play a game of Quiplash, as Christina wants to do. When Joe gives me that thumbs up, we'll bring him back in. All right. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So, how you doing?
It's the weekend.
It is the weekend indeed. We're halfway through the weekend though, and today I did absolutely nothing. It was a beautiful nothing too.
I know you did nothing because you called me and you were bugging me.
Yeah, we were trying to get sound and video and iPhones figured out. It's like we haven't done this a million times before. I was thinking back to how we got started on YouTube. Because now you can have like 3 or 4 people live on Instagram at once. I'm like, why don't we just go back to Instagram?
So I think with the updates to StreamYard, maybe that's why my iPhone doesn't like it.
I don't know.
Because
I know
when we paused to go live,
mm-hmm.
That's when my sound just kind of went wonky. I just opened up the tab thing, hit the YouTube, came back, and boom, it working again. So
I don't know. It could be a bug in one of the updates. It's Apple. They never tell you anything. It says we got 5 people watching on YouTube. Welcome in, everybody. I don't see comments rolling in, so just say hello to everybody.
There we go.
Pulling it up on the television.
Yeah, that way I can see the comments and everything.
Yeah. If something's off on the sound, y'all let us know. But we should be rolling pretty good. What up, Driller? I decided to make a stupid upgrade to my sound for no apparent reason other than I wanted to. I just felt like doing it, and my desk looked a little empty. It didn't have enough crap on it already. So we've been hanging out, having a good time. Jarhead's been painting little baby figures. Whatever. Figures of babies, whatever you want to call them.
Miniatures.
Yeah, he's got
Hey, I made an update to my sound too.
Turn your little machine on.
That's a good sound, ain't it? I upgraded.
You're an idiot. What are you playing with? Oh, put that away.
My pop protector.
YouTube doesn't like that shit.
It's an airsoft.
Oh, there we go.
I'll paint the tip orange.
You don't have to. An airsoft that gives away your position. Dude, I've watched some of those people play airsoft. Holy crap. Some of those snipers, those guns are like those sniper airsoft guns are like $2,000. Bolt action, and they're shooting people from like 200 yards away. And when dudes don't raise their gun, they pull out like the auto pistol and just light them up.
Have you seen the grenade launcher, the 40 Mike grenade launcher?
Yeah, even
when they jump into like a basement and tear the guys up with it.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
people, they're like, oh yeah, airsofts I have a few airsofts, and they're like, "Oh, airsofts are toys," and it's like they can do some damage.
Airsofts that you buy at retail stores are toys to be treated real because you can put an eye out with them. But some of these things you order cost more than the actual real counterpart.
Yeah. Now my G36 that I have,
Mhm.
I didn't pay retail for it because a guy, he bought it so he could airsoft with his kid, and then his kid moved away and he didn't. So he sold it to me for a really good price. But that thing, if I was to shoot you from 3 feet away, you're gonna be digging a plastic BB out of your skin.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Especially if you crank the gas up on it. Does it take
So
the
my
little CO2 cartridges, or is it one that you fill?
no, it's neither of those. It's battery operated. It takes a LiPo battery.
Ooh,
But it has a polished bore. Me and my old roommate, we updated the spring on it, so it's got a heavier spring.
nice.
And
So it's flying above regulation. We'll just put it that way.
no, it's now if they checked it, then yeah, I'd be in trouble.
Now I know you are. Um,
Damn.
hold on. What is it? Oh. Sorry, guys. I've got another screen over here and then Discord running over here. It's never easy when you are collecting so many things at once that you don't even remember what you like and what you love and what you just collect because you got into it somehow. As you see, we have a little shiny Charmander in there. We have a Pikachu up top, but behind it, Star Wars. And then behind me is Pokemon. And then on my desk is MetaZoo. I know Joe's collecting has changed a lot since we were last live. He has narrowed his lines of Funko Pops, but also they have gotten slightly more expensive. What grails do you have for my hero now?
The mask, the Choco from.
Oh, we got Jody of MetaZoo HQ in the house. What is up, brother? He runs probably one of the most informative sites that you don't have to pay to use for everything MetaZoo.
It was funny because I was talking to one of the guys at work who's a big card player, and because I was telling about the info you were telling me about, and there we go. And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, you ever heard of MetaZoo?" He goes, "Oh yeah, that's the new big thing, and this, that, and starts telling me all about it. And he goes, "Do you play?" And I was like, "Dude, my buddy's been trying to get me into it."
Bro, March will be like a year since boxes started shipping. It's that new, and they help get Collecticon on the map. I'll be at 6 of them this year, representing a new TCG that's coming in. Jody, I don't know if you've heard of Titan, but it is based. The first set is the gods of Olympus. Then you'll go to your Greek gods, and then you'll hit Ragnarok. And we're talking about beautiful artwork. If it was blown up, it's frameable quality artwork. Next week will be the week that I get to start breaking the cards on TTS as the creators, which these dudes are like stupid smart. Try to create a game. When you create a game, whether it's a board game that has some strategy or risk involved in it, a card game, or even puzzle, I mean, all this stuff comes together and takes a lot of work. Last 2 MetaZoo hours posted. It takes a lot of work to balance everything out and make sure everything works. MetaZoo announced the initial reserve list, which means some of my cards are about to increase in value quite drastically. That makes me happy. We had an interesting thing happen though. They will never have an unlimited set, but they released base set 2, Cryptid Nation 2nd edition. And the prices on booster boxes are going down to the point that the top card in the set is almost worth more than the box now. And it's because it was created for the players that they made as much as they did. They want it to be in stock and readily available. And the pools are better in it. And I enjoy it. But at the same time, I've still been picking up statues and bust and Cats and a new hot toy that if I try to grab, he might fall. It's the battle damage Thanos hot toy on the base. Oh yeah, I know, man. Second edition products will hit Target, Walmart, GameStop, but we won't see booster boxes in those. They'll be exclusive SKUs. January 22nd. So today, MetaZoo was supposed to hit some Walmarts around the country. And by the end of the year, they'll be in Target and GameStop. To move that fast within a year is crazy. So as Pokemon's slowing down, you see a lot of smaller TCGs catching up. And the value on Pokemon's starting to rise again. 24th. Oh, so that's Monday. Good reason to leave work early. It won't be in my Walmart on a Monday unless it's not done by the MJ Holdings. If it's stocked by Walmart employees, maybe. But MJ Holdings or whoever does ours comes around on a Thursday or Friday normally. They try to make it random, but somehow the sports cards buyers, the guys that buy all the good stuff, seem to know when they're going to be there. They go from store to store, they pick up the product. Lately, we've been able to find Pokemon product in stock. You're able to find second edition product in stock with MetaZoo. It's going to be interesting to see where things go. I know one thing that I've noticed when it comes to Funko is it seems like Target stickers are the new Hot Topic stickers of exclusives.
Because Target's been canceling everything.
Target will slap a sticker on a turd if they think it'll sell. The line of Seinfeld, how many exclusives they did terrible. Because most of the people collecting Funko Pops either didn't watch Seinfeld, have a lot of new shows they watched since it came out, or just in general don't care. If they had Kramer riding down the middle of his comfort aisle as he made it, that might have been funny, but that's something that they're not going to spend the money to create.
You know what I just thought of?
What's that?
Because you know how current events always affect prices on stuff.
Yes, they do.
I'm wondering if they have a Meatloaf pop. Nope.
Didn't he just pass?
Yeah.
So when I was buying wholesale and selling Funko, I had a policy in place that was always, Gasolcast does it too. I would not sell a pop if someone passed within 30 days of the passing. That was out of respect. Wasn't trying to get in the price gouging market. If I had sold one previous and it was getting ready to ship, I would still ship it. I don't believe in profiting off people's deaths. That's just, there's good ways to make money, and then there's ways that you'll pay for later. And you got to kind of weigh the pros and cons. One thing that I have been glued to, instead of my Xbox controller, which even though I have a computer that I can game on fully adequately and a keyboard that I can game on, along with 2 or 3 different mice that I can choose from to game with, I play my Switch. Friday, Arceus releases for Pokemon, which is going to be the most open world game we've had, but it's not going to be Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but so I keep seeing advertisements for it, and it bugs the crap out of me because they basically stole the Final Fantasy music and all that stuff and put it in there, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
If this is live, safe rubber bunny baby bumpers? What are you saying, Steven? We did not mark this 18 and up. We're kind of being age appropriate tonight.
Oh.
Instead of talking about the state of our world and collecting and work, we are talking about where we've been. Yeah, Jody likes the Final Fantasy music.
Let me see.
I've been playing.
Okay, we've been over 10 minutes, so now I can say shit.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. After 10 minutes, they kind of start getting lenient on it.
I know, but still, I don't want to have to mark it 18 and up.
Man.
I don't want my kids to roll up on a video, so they have accounts that are under 18.
I'll do my best.
Well, look, I'm a parent. But you can tell what I play the most of if it'll show up on the screen. We have Pokemon, Pokemon, and then Zelda, and then Cruising World. When Cruising World came out, Cruising Blast, they call it, that was fun because you remember Cruising? I mean, that was the arcade driving game we played growing up. I don't know about you. You're a few years past me. So you came. Well, I mean, I was born in 87. You were born
Are you
in
talking about Cruising USA or
Cruising USA? Cruising World came after it. On the
oh
Switch, it
yeah.
became Cruising Blast, where you double tap on the gas pedal and you would pop the wheelies. Yeah. Stuff that would never happen.
So for me, the original car racing one, it was what was that? It was a stand-up arcade game. It had a wheel and you had to step on a pedal, and you had high and low, and that was it.
So Cruising would let you do manual back then, I think. On the Switch, you can't wreck.
Man, you guys are young.
Oh yeah, 1987. Let's go.
My sister's older than you, man.
My parents like to recreational party, if you know what I mean. My name is Jason. I was born on a Friday the 13th. Some of y'all probably know that. I don't watch horror movies though. It's just kind of who I am. I am wearing my Black Widow box shirt in honor of the Black Widow statue that finally came in that was pre-ordered over a year ago. That is it Iron Studios? Yes. No, Sideshow Premium Format. And she stands super tall. It's Black Widow in Iron Man 2. Remember when Happy's driving, it's just to keep your eyes on the road as she's changing into her shield outfit? He said, are you talking about Rally X? I think that's what he was talking about. Yeah, he's drank a little much since then. A little much hot sauce. I don't remember exactly when Cruising came out, but I know that when I got old enough to have my own money to go to the arcades, you know, I had a little part-time job or I was doing chores and getting an allowance. Cruising was big. And so was, what is it, Area 54, the shooting game?
God, you're young.
It was in the 80s. Hey, my first console, though, was a regular Nintendo.
So my favorite arcade game when I was a kid, we'd go to the pizza parlor, and I loved it. It was an old game called Altered Beasts. And it was a side-scrolling fighter game, and you would get so many power-ups, and you would transform, and depending on what the level was, you were like a werewolf, and another one you were a dragon, and I mean, yeah.
What was it, Metroid Droid that just released for the Switch? That is supposedly one of the best Switch games of 2021 or 2022. I don't remember when it released, but they're already calling it one of the best, and it's a side scroller.
Oh. Yeah, I remember Metroid. I used to play that one.
What was it? The dude that would shoot like the balls for the bullets. Mega Man?
Well, there was Mega Man. That was
what was it? Oh, was it on the original PlayStation we played? I don't even remember. There were so many systems. My dad would always buy us the console behind the current generation. So we had a Sega Genesis even. Yeah, Mega Man. That's what it was. Yeah. Good side scroller. It was a whole lot of fun. I was probably 9 or 10 before I knew there was a Mario Brothers, because all we knew was Super Mario Brothers. I remember when we were kids, we had a babysitter that could beat the game. They knew the worlds to go through to get to the end. They knew how to jump on the shell on the steps up to get 99 lives and keep it going. But somebody just showed a hack code that you could have hit 2 buttons on the controller, like hold down select when you hit A, and it would have gone to where you left off. Well, that's actually true, or one of those internet hacks. It's not real.
Not on Nintendo.
Oh, I remember. You'd leave it on. You'd leave the game on for like 2 days, and then all of a sudden it'd screw up, and you'd have to take it out and go. If none of y'all know what we just did, imagine your cheeks hurting like you're blowing up balloons, trying to blow the dust out of a cartridge using all those particles out of your mouth. You're basically putting COVID in a cartridge now. But God, that happened all the way through Hacks Easter eggs that we have yet to. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no telling when
Down,
Nintendo
down,
64.
left, right.
When Nintendo 64 came out and you could put the
Up,
pack,
down, left, right, A, B, select, start.
the rumble pack in the bottom of the controller, and they made the Game Genies. That wasn't it 64 when they started that with the Game Genie?
No, Game Genie. They had Game Genie for Nintendo because I had a Game Genie for my Nintendo and I had a Game Genie for my Super Nintendo, and it was that stupid gray thing, and you plug the cartridge in, and you plug that in the machine, then you had to punch in the codes.
I know what you're talking about.
No, I got the Game Genie for my NES when I was actually in a issue of Nintendo Power back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to order your stuff out of magazines. I remember those. There were always things I wanted and never got. Used to get the Sears cat. Even when we were kids, the Sears catalog would come. It's kind of like the Target and Amazon catalogs coming now, but it'd have everything from old people stuff to young people stuff.
Yeah, the JC Penney's Christmas
catalog. Back when
with all the toys in it.
Back when all these places were still in business and not just scrounging to get by. Amazon wasn't a thing back then, y'all.
I was not allowed to have the Power Glove, Jody.
Why not?
Because my mother was so worried because there was an old wives' tale flying around that kids were getting electrocuted by the Power Glove and all that, and she would not let me get one.
So we went through 3 duck hunt guns before my dad said no more. Because we'd be doing perfect, and then all of a sudden it'd miss one. Little did I know back then, and didn't find out till recently, a couple years ago, that it was all about the CRT lines on the TV is how it picked up where it was. It doesn't work on conventional TVs, even though they're starting to make stuff that'll emulate it. Duck Hunt was like my favorite game ever. And I remember Tecmo Bowl for y'all these days. That's like Madden, but you had little figures almost like X's running around a field. When they sidestepped, they literally sidestepped and then went forward. There wasn't no diagonal running and no jukes and stuff.
So when you were growing up, they were probably already long gone by then. But when I was a kid, I remember you had my favorite one. I had the Castlevania handheld freaking game. It took the 4 AA batteries in the back, and it was just a little tiny LCD screen.
I remember some of those.
Oh man.
Have you seen the little pocket Nintendo thing that you could buy in like Walmarts and Targets? It's like $50. It's throwbacks. Never had an Atari. I don't think I even played on an Atari. But like I said, my dad bought the previous gen console. So we had Nintendo.
Started with Coleco, then I went to Atari. Then I went to Nintendo.
I have no clue what Coleco is. Never even heard of it.
Coleco is the predecessor to the Atari. The Atari.
I couldn't do it.
Like Atari, you had the cool games like Pitfall and River Raid and Frogger and all that. The Coleco had games like Asteroids and the very, very like 4-bit games because it just did not have the power.
So I was watching something talking about Nintendo and what they could do with this device. In the confines it's in and the size it is, what they have the ability to do in them that they don't. And I've taken these apart. I've changed out parts in them. I have fixed Joy-Cons when Joy-Con drift happens. I've taken apart the Switch lights. They do really good at power management in these and heat efficiency, moving stuff through copper coils, 2 different types of thermal paste in there. And but they leave so much space for slightly better chips, better hardware. And I realize it's $400, but when you can buy an Xbox Series S for $400 when you can find it in stock, what will come when it catches up to the Steam platform that they built, the Steam Drive or whatever they call it, or the other emulator games that run a full Windows or Android environments, and then you have all your emulated games. You got to work a little harder. But all they did was put an OLED screen in it that's a little bit bigger, and people like me flocked out and bought it.
I almost because right now Xbox has got the sale going on for all the retro back compatible games and stuff for like 360, but they actually had the old school arcade bundle in there. It was like 100 and some odd games for like $20, and I was like, oh no.
So we pay for the Game Pass. I pay for the premium one that goes across computers too. And they dropped like 100 games today. Craziness.
Yep.
Especially since a lot of these you got to download, and it is a lot of space, especially when you have a 500 gig hard drive, and one of your Call of Duty or Madden games is going to take up, 150 gigs of space. It gets to be where, so I have, who made it? It's a ROG Strix external NVMe storage case that runs off Thunderbolt to USB-C. So it'll run PCI Gen 4. I only have a Gen 3 drive in there, but it's still super fast. And I plug that into the back of the Xbox, and we keep all the 360 games on it, because PCIe Gen 3 is fast enough to run them. It's not fast enough to run the newer games. But I mean, everybody says the newer graphics cards, if you're not running a 3080, you can't play the good games. I'm running a 3060 and easily pulling 80, 90, 100 frames a second. So compared to playing on the Xbox, not only do games load quicker, but when you're playing your Call of Duties and stuff, you run around the corner quicker than the other guy. And it really does make a big difference. But what you see is they only put controller people together and they put mouse and keyboard people together. But when you're playing on the computer with a controller, you're so much faster than the people on console. Because even though your TV might be faster than 60 frames a second or what it's plugged into, the device itself isn't. So we got a little off track there. I wanted to put a full arcade system in for Space Invaders. Was it Space Invaders? Is that the one? Wait, what was it? Where you have the guy that shoots and you can get a second ship added to him?
Well, there's a bunch of those.
What was the original one?
The very first was Space Invaders, and you had the ship that just went like this, side to side, and the aliens would come down and you'd have to shoot them.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Jody. 3060, I'm on 1440, 165 frames a second monitors. But I suck anyway, so it doesn't matter. I loved Plunder because I would go and try to get all the money and win, not by killing people. Yeah. Wait, Galaga. That was it. Galaga. I wanted the legit. So I used to go, there was this place in our mall. It's still there called Bumper Nets. They hosted ping pong tournaments on like competition linked setups with the real tables, turn them long ways. They'd have billiard tournaments, but they had real machines. And I said I was going to buy one when I got my own house. With the money I've paid for some of the stuff I bought, $1,700 for a legit in-case Galaga machine doesn't seem that bad, but I just never got around to picking one up.
So, like I was telling you, how next week the Vox Machina thing comes out. They had some other shows they did too, where like they did this one. Two of the guys would go out and they do crazy stuff, like they learned how to do like knife forging, stuff like that. Well, they did one where they went out, they found this guy in LA who builds those arcade games, and they were talking to him, and they wanted him to build one. They wanted the joysticks, they wanted the roller ball and all that. And he goes, well, how many games do you want on it? And they're like, well, how many games can you put in on this? He goes, well, that just depends on how many you want. He goes, I can put as many as you want on here. That I just have to find out how much storage space. He goes, I can put 1,600 games on this thing, no problem.
It's all emulators now.
What? And then he's like, yeah, 8-bit is nothing.
Yeah. The thing you don't get in your lesser joysticks and your control and your buttons is you don't get the true feel of being able to bang on a wooden top as you're hitting these buttons and a pad's not jumping all over your desk. And the joystick has the right give in it. And it's just, I don't know. What was the game, the shooter that you had the guns that glowed green and you'd like hit the side of it to load in your special bullets or your grenades, and it was all shooting aliens.
That's Area 51 you're thinking of. You're probably thinking of House of the Dead.
No, I never play those. No, Area 51, 54, that was the one where you had the red and the blue gun, and you'd step on the foot pedal to go behind cover and then come up from cover, right?
No, that was House of the Dead where you had to step on the pedal to.
It wasn't House of the Dead. They didn't let me play those games when I was a kid.
You're a few years behind me, so.
Trying to think.
I mean, my very first shooter game, arcade shooter game, that was Terminator way back in the day, and it had that Uzi that was connected to the thing, and it was.
Yeah, we would always like the big buck hunters where you'd pick up the shotgun and you'd go hunting the animals. That was so much fun until you killed like a doe and they got mad. You're like, it's meat. Horns don't matter. But no, I mean, God, looking back to it, the collecting from an early age. Well, Steven, if you want to get in here, send me a DM on Instagram and I will send you the link.
Oh man, LAPD, Eric. I forgot about that.
It was Area 51. I was right. Oh, by the way, if y'all didn't know, I'm now Bama J on Instagram, Bama_J_. I got hacked. It happens. Again. I don't know many people that get hacked twice. But yeah, account was gone. Well, no, the first one didn't get hacked. It got taken down by Instagram. And they wouldn't give it back. Time Crisis was the foot pedal one. That is right.
Time Crisis too. I forgot about that one.
Oh, that one was so much fun. Jody, it's okay. When I thought of the new name, I didn't want to be locked into any one area of collecting because if you look at my shelves, I could go live on like 17 different categories or whatnot. But I just wanted something quick and easy, and Bama J came out. That's why I have the Frogman, the Loveland Frogman, with the fork as the Titan guy called it, and I was laughing. Holding a trident of Poseidon with an Alabama logo on his stomach.
Speaking of collecting, you haven't seen one of my newest D&D collections.
Is that your dice bag now?
Yeah, it's a critical role dice bag.
Why is it so damn big?
Because I needed a bigger one because the other one wasn't big enough.
Yeah, Eric, the Pop Life Toys 11_ is like still hacking people and taking money from people.
But still love my D20.
Did you see the dice I tagged you on Kickstarter that I sent you the link to? The metal edge dice?
Yeah, those have been around for a while. Oh, and don't forget the 100 side die.
How does that even land on something? This came in. This was shipped to me from a guy in California on the 26th of November, 2021. And it came today. I've never seen a 100-side die before. I've seen plenty of D7. Was it D17s or the normal ones? How does it land? Does it have detents in
Each
it?
side has a little facet, so
What do you use? The number that's on that it lands on the bottom?
it's a novelty thing. Anybody who technically has to roll 100, or a percentile or whatever, you use. Let me grab. You use one of these, right? Which is a 10-sider.
And then
But they have that, and then you have a single 10-sider.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do that.
For MetaZoo, I use Pokemon dice. They work pretty well. I don't need a D20 or a D17, but the ones
I
you
also
can get.
These. There's a bunch of different ones mixed in, but they're the actual critical role dice.
I need dice for MetaZoo that go by 5s all the way up. Yeah, but
that's a complete set of dice right there. They're super.
Yeah, but like the actual 17-sider over there, I don't need that.
There's no 17-sider.
Or is it, what is it? D20s
are
the normal?
4, 6, 10, 12, 20.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, Jody, Caster Society is dropping their own dice real soon, which look really nice. I don't know what kind of price tag they're going to carry. I know. And instead, they give you cardboard counters that never stay in place. It's what it is. Jarhead, this will mean nothing to you. But I got in my second playtester card today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday, my T. Kettler. Victor Larson, the guy who drew this, is leaving MetaZoo, and his last con he will be at as a representative of MetaZoo is in February in Orlando, and I will be there. And I know him well enough that we've been talking on Facebook. So when I went to grab this last one, I wanted one that was his artwork. It is, but the best one, Jody, is the Flood the Earth. The silvers in the water with Frogman playing Moses there. Just look awesome with the house and the, can't even tell what that is in the canoe. But Chris will be there too. Yeah. Jody. Yeah, Jody, on my desk, I've got my 3 really expensive non-set pieces. All my signed stuff sits in a locked box or in a not fireproof, one of the flyable boxes. And I've got all my slabs in there. So
I broke out and bought a $25 paintbrush today. I didn't buy an expensive one. I bought a medium range one.
I bought a $400 mic, but I left the arm in place that was there. Oh, me though, you're doing custom slabs? Hell yeah, bro. How you been? Possessed. Oh. How is it one of a one? Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, people are sleeping on playtesters. People want to be MetaZoo playtesters so bad. Not only do they get to see the set early, but those stack of spellbook limit cards are worth a lot of money. 7 days. Oh, well, then it's got plenty of time. It'll hit 150. Possession is a spellbook limit of what, 4? 35. No, it'd have to be 6. Yeah, it'll go up. It'll go through the roof, I believe. I mean, it kind of has to. But nah, I buy mine straight from an MZO. and a play tester, and I tell them to pick me the best. We get them signed, send them off to get graded, slabbed, and kind of roll with it. And so he does. And I've been very happy with the way it came. NFT boxes dropped, and out of all the ones I got one that was perfectly stickered. I have a sealed collection. Joe, you know me, I don't keep stuff sealed. I have 5 sealed booster boxes up there. 3 of them are second edition with the blue NFT sticker. And then you got a Nightfall box and a first edition box. No Kickstarter box. But Titan boxes will join it soon enough. Look, you're playing D&D.
I'm not even doing that right now.
How much do the dice in that bag cost?
In that bag I got?
Yeah, probably more than a set of prosthetic nuts, I would have to guess.
No, I've probably spent maybe $200.
How about that rolling tray you have?
That's different.
Oh, I never got to see it.
Yeah, you did.
No.
I'll go get it.
If they made something that would work with MetaZoo, I would so grab it in a heartbeat.
Ugh.
My screens are just all a mix of nothing now. But yeah, it was big. Oh, Mizo, that's you that was on Facebook and you jumped over to YouTube. Well, if you want to jump in here with us, bro, I will be glad to shoot you a link, but you're going to have to find my new Instagram profile. Unless you've already found it. I got hacked again. It happens, I guess. First one, Instagram shut down though, and they wouldn't give it back to me. I don't remember why they did it. Do you remember why my first account on Instagram got shut down?
I don't.
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, I do. Magoo.
That got it shut down?
I thought it was, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It was a long time ago, man.
Might have been the playground crap. I don't know. Man, bro, if you want to, you're a Twitch streamer. Come on, bro. I've got the setup now. I need to know what to do with it.
Here, let me take the dice vault out.
I got myself with the sales that went on right after Christmas. I picked up a Go XLR Mini and a brand new toy. Wormwood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my Critical Role dice vault, which has my metal dice in it. My black.
Kill somebody with those.
Yeah, they're not too heavy. I mean,
so are those the one you actually play with those?
So when we get it, like when I was actively playing, which I'm not right now, when we get into like the big battles, like the big like boss battles or whatever, I break those out. But I don't use those on my Wormwood tray because I don't want to dent the wood.
Yeah. Now hold on. So that pot behind your head, that gelatinous cube, how much is it now?
That one, $103.
I had 12 of them that I couldn't get rid of for what I paid for them at GameStop.
I know, because that's one of them.
I didn't like shipping it either because it wouldn't go in a protector.
Yeah.
Everything I ship that's common size goes in protectors. They ordered me another 2,000. I don't know that I'll buy anything from that order. 2,000's nothing to them.
That's right. I'll show you something that'll get you riled up.
I don't know, man. Mizo, what you been playing lately? For me, it's been Switch. And lately it's been all Pokemon. Let's see. I was in Shining Pearl helping a kid, but I've been playing Let's Go Pikachu. not that bad of a game. The Elite Four are a whole lot easier to beat than they are in Shining Pearl. I do not know what Inscription is. If I was gonna, I don't know, when Arceus comes out, I might stream some of it, but it's just so much easier to walk around with it in my hands and play than to dock it in the computer and load everything in and get OBS ready. And I just don't do it all the time. Fat gum.
Oh.
You're welcome. How do you have two of them? Oh, the regular sticker. Yeah, shut up.
Now, granted, the one with the good sticker, top of the box has got a small, very faint crease right here. So
it's okay. Because probably my all-time favorite My Hero Academia pop they've ever made.
Which one?
Well, it came out 2021, Fall Convention Limited Edition. It's All Might weekend with his groceries in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
I love this pop.
Yeah,
it might only be like a $16 or $17 pop.
Oh, I still don't have it up in my... I'll have to get it in a protector and put it up there.
Oh, I love it.
I thought I had it up there. But...
They added the Funko. I don't know when they started doing that, but they put Funko in the top left corner. That's weird. I've got a lot of new pops, and I don't see that anywhere.
I thought I had it. Maybe I don't have it. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you or do you not? The last collection I completed was the Bad Batch collection. Jay, do you have any Father? I don't. I had one. I used it as trade bait for something I needed. I know it's on the not going to be printed list anymore. I don't even want to know how much the price has gone to. I know who has mine. I had Victor draw on it. He couldn't sign it because he'd signed a 1 of 1. But I have another one that's going to be on the never reprinted list that I think will do okay. Just got it in a screw down slab.
I swear I ordered that one.
That is the Swamp Priestess signed by Victor with the hearts up in the corner in 21. We call her the Swamp Hoe. And then I still have, last time I looked, it was a population of 7. The BGS 10 gold Mew.
Who sold the All Might with the grocery bag? Was that Funko headquarters?
I think it was GameStop. Might have been Target. Those are really the only 2 stores I go in. Could have been Walmart, but I don't think so. What am I looking for?
I swore I got him, but I guess I didn't.
Told you I love Flood the Earth. I have a DSG 10 with the Arcanine label of the Hollow Flood the Earth. But I'm looking for something. I still have...
Now I'm going to have to go scour my freaking collection and find him.
My number 1 of 5 Hollow Darth Maul, or Auto Darth Maul from the Signature Series. I don't know that you'll be able to see that one clearly, even if I cover my face up. Yeah. Number 1 of 5. Number 3 of 5 sold for about $8.50 a couple months back. This one's never sold on the open market. I got it from the guy who pulled it. And then I have another one that was on the not going to be reprinted list, and that is the participation medal with Squonk. Also signed by Victor, and he wrote loser on it because it's a participation medal. And then I pulled this on Saturday night, and on Sunday I got him to sign it at the convention off one of the packs that I traded a coin to Michael for. Or no, was he giving those or first edition packs? I think it was Nightfall packs they were giving out. I got those. And then my art card that's slabbed by DSG, that is Birth of Fire Elemental. And that one has some inappropriateness to it. But the creator or the owner of DSG, Alex, did that. That's his own original artwork. So on the desk, I keep the really expensive stuff, and then I keep the signed, lesser expensive stuff in the case. Makes sense. But those screw down slabs are nice. You over tighten them, they'll start to crack. But if you tighten the 4 screws evenly, you get a real nice seal, especially if you're using like the perfect fit sleeves that I use for playing. So T. Kettler will go in a sleeve very, very soon. And he'll get put away in one of those sleeves and then put in a baggie. And he will be packed to go to Orlando. Jody, will you be at Orlando? Oh, and I picked up a Channel Fireball promo for 45 shipped today, sealed. If you want one, I know where you can get one, Jody. You're in. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that'd be a little bit of travel. Huh. If there's anything you need, let me know. Yeah. In the Pokazoo Discord, a guy was selling them it. Yeah, shipping's terrible. I know. You almost have to get one of those forwarding boxes here and just have it sent over. I shipped a few pops to Canada, and either they're open and inspected or they take 45 days to get there. Even though my stickers that I was getting, my Pokeball stickers, were coming from a company in Canada, and I'd order them on one day and they'd be here in less than 7 business days. I guess when they're just stickers, it's not that hard to get them here. But I collect a lot of things. Tools, electronics, streaming gear. It never ends. There's always that next new toy that I want to get a hold of. Where did Joe go? He just left the screen empty.
Speaking of next new toys, I got that.
Cool, put it away.
You can't even tell what it is.
It's the O-Light weapon light. I know what that is.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of new for them though.
This is the Balder Pro.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Magnetic charger.
Mm-hmm. Almost all of their lights have magnetic chargers. That's the S1R baton. I have so many O-Lights, it's not even funny. It's kind of like Anchor for chargers. Yeah, with the green laser. So Anchor comes onto the scene making chargers. And at first they were the next Chinese knockoff, and then they became legit. Anchor makes hands down the best charging cable and charging solutions in the industry. I secretly think that's why Apple stopped putting bricks in the phone with the phones. Lets their packaging be smaller, and frankly, you get better charging off an Anchor brick than you do through them. So, but you had that happen. O-Light's kind of become a household name. When it comes to optics, you've had a lot of names that were never really recognized that have picked up some steam and gotten a whole lot better. In fact, I have a little Hollow Sun green dot mounted dot right here.
But
and Hollow Sun.
This is the other thing I love.
Mm-hmm.
But
so it'll run. Okay, don't do that at the camera. It'll run pressure switch when it's not charging.
Or the switches.
I don't like that it comes loose that easy because you could snag it and then your pressure switch.
You gotta pull it pretty hard.
Well, that's good. That's cool.
But it also, but right where my forward grip is, I mean, I can.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean they don't make crap anymore. They always run sales, but their price justifies it. They're not a cheap brand anymore.
No. In fact, I picked this up. I got the pressure switch, and then they threw in these little tiny. I mean,
yeah, little keychain lights.
Yeah, they threw that in as a free gift, and they're
bright. Good. They don't last a super long time on the batteries, but yeah. You remember the only black light I had for charging up glow in the dark pops was that little bitty one, that little O light. And then my kids left this one on. I bought the one that Dr. Applesauce uses.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
His Pokemon and MetaZoo videos are getting more views than his Funko Pop videos now.
It's because he doesn't really make a whole lot of Funko Pop videos.
Yeah, brilliance is who invented them. Pure genius. There's a lot of things we don't think about that were pure genius. The 3D printer. I mean, I remember when I first heard of a 3D printer, and I'm like, that's bullcrap. You can't print in 3D. What are you doing? Stacking ink? Little did I know it was actually plastic. But I mean, the amount of calibration that goes into those is crazy. I've been watching a guy that restores watches on YouTube. He's not a pro. He's an amateur, but he's an amateur pro, if that makes sense. He has the tools. He has the skills. He's worked on some older Rolexes. He hasn't touched anything that some of your high-end watch shops would touch. Like I've got an Omega Seamaster that's got a special dial on it that needs to go in and get serviced, where they take it all apart, they clean it, they oil it, they put it back together. They re-illuminate the hands. Yes. But the beauty in the movements of watches, man, it makes me want to learn to repair watches. Oh, dude, don't even get me started on the internet because I remember dial-up. Yep, I have some open case backs. I love them.
I was trying to get it to where it would come into focus, but it won't. But yeah, there are so many little screws and
just watch one of them being opened. You go from, your couple $100 watches to a Rolex, and on the inside, it's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The texturing on the metals, the quality of parts, the synthetic gems they use because they're harder or almost as hard as diamonds. So it's the most cost affordable, hardest solution they can use to keep your pivot points on. If you always wonder why there's a bunch of pink stones inside of a watch. Some of your more expensive watches actually have real sapphires in them, but that's the ones that do it because they got to justify the price somehow and the brand exclusivity. I used to watch some dude that would go in shops and buy like $300,000-$400,000 watches like it was nothing. But I watched him repair a World War II watch, one of those that was built by 100 different companies, just had to be to the specs. And he did it because a watch shop told a friend of his that it wasn't worth the money, but it was a near perfect watch. And the only thing wrong with it is the oil was dried and it had a screw that had fallen out that stopped everything up. Oh, Jody, Rolexes have gone up a lot. I always wanted a Submariner Hulk because I was on submarines in the Navy. Submariner Hulk is green. It was like just calling my name. But good example. Now, of course, I bartered or dickered or whatever you want to call it for this, but that is a Tag Daytona Speedmaster, whatever you want, Indy 500. But you can tell I don't take care of my watches because it's got a bunch of deep scratches in the bezel around it. So this is about $1,000 watch, and I wear it. When I wear it, it doesn't come off unless I'm taking it off to go to bed at night. So I don't treat watches like what I should, even though that Omega is definitely treated better. But that's just a regular wear watch for me. But my normal role is my Apple Watch because it dings to let me know something happened if somebody needs me. I remember when the first Apple Watch came out and people were like, who wants to wear something on your wrist? Put one on, it starts to notify you when things happen. Very handy. When MetaZoo drops a new announcement because 7 Discords will ding all at once. Turn that off. Mizo's back.
Well, they do have that, and it's one thing I do got to give Apple is they have that new function where, like, if you're out hiking or whatever and you fall, like it's got that emergency function where it automatically
it's fall detection. If you hit your wrist hard enough, and I didn't hit it hard enough that time to make it happen. But if that takes enough of a jar, it'll ask you, did you fall? And if you don't hit the right buttons within 20 seconds, it's dialing 911.
Yep.
And if you don't talk, it sends out the GPS signal. But I mean, holy crap, air tags. So my 9-year-old Mason loses everything. He's my kid that just wants to have fun. Why'd you do that, son? Why were you throwing something and it went through my window? Dad, we were just trying to have fun. Son, why did you leave your Chromebook on the bus? I don't know. I was having fun with my friends. I forgot it. I have an Apple AirTag in his Chromebook pouch. And I got a phone call from his bus driver one weekend. She said, I'd assume you're Mason's parents. I said, why is that? She said, because he left his Chromebook on the bus and it started dinging at me. And sure enough, on my iPhone, I had an alert that said to call this number, and it was your phone number. So I called you. I just want to let you know I have it. It's charging. I'll bring it to him on Monday.
Jeez.
And I'm like, that's awesome. Anytime it's within range of an iOS device, it pings.
Yep.
The iPad Pro with the N1 chip in it is absolutely awesome. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Someone was trying to complete Cryptonation 2nd edition. And I told him, yeah, but I'm live on YouTube right now. Yeah, definitely can. All right. Yeah.
I think the big reason that I just stopped doing TCGs is because when I got into them, you know, back in the days of alpha and beta magic cards, it was all luck. You know, you went to the store, you bought a couple packs, you open them up. If you got lucky, you got something. Nowadays, with the internet, it's like they come out and within a couple weeks, unless you got money to blow, they become way too unaffordable.
No. Now that stuff's so available, you'll have your initial high price, prices will drop, a lot of times plummet, and then they'll slowly start to climb back up. You see it with Pokemon cards, you see it with Magic cards, you see it with MetaZoo. Right now, if you want to pick up Nightfall cards, first edition cards, second edition cards, it's the time to do it. Nightfall boxes. So when they first came out, they were 400, 300, 250 bucks. They came all the way down to 180. They're back past 200, 220, heading to 250 on their way up again.
Well, because there really isn't any place around here for, like, when you were saying, oh, you should get into them. I went around, I looked around, and, you know, we have one store here in town that has them.
I have none. The way I do it is I pre-order.
Well, and that's the thing, is every time I was looking at it, I was like, I'm not spending that much for cards. And I went to the store and I looked, and they had some, but the thing was, is it was like $9-10 a pack, and I'm like, I'm like, you know, when I can buy a pack of Magic, the same thing in Magic cards, and it's, you know, $4 or $5.
Bro, if you want to try Wilderness, which is the new set coming out, I got a place I can pre-order for $112 for a booster box with 36 packs.
Huh. Well, I was thinking about picking some up just so I could take a look at them, see, you know.
Well, if you want just loose cards, or if you want, Jerry, what's up? You're here. We already had pizza, bro. Sorry.
I didn't eat no pizza here.
If you want a box of second edition, I opened the back to take the box topper out, but all the packs are there, bro. We'll work a deal very, very inexpensive and affordable. I've got 8 boxes sitting at my feet. In the box toppers, you had the Hollow Terras, but you also had a chance, or Hollow Lands, as y'all would call them. You had a chance to pull blue ink, which was, did they ever say, Jody, was it limited to 100? You got all the MetaZoo hours. Jerry's in the house. Jerry has some crazy Funko Pops. Jerry, we got to get you into cards. Past Pokemon, bro. If you want to come on and hang out with us, let me know. Never said. Okay. Red ink was 100, I think they said, or maybe 175. I know Old Scratch, they confirmed 100.
This Jerry's here. I'm taking it easy because I had the stomach flu last week.
So. Yeah, I would say you're probably right, Jody, because so many have been pulled so far. One of the streamers on Whatnot's pulled 2 already. I don't want to watch this.
It's only, dude, it's only habanero. It's
good. You notice I didn't call it Hot Sauce Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
You want MetaZoo? I got you MetaZoo right here. And second edition, the art is so much more vibrant. Just tried winning Flocked, Lotso, missed, got Metallic, Imperial, Batman, great. Huh. Where was that at?
You know what I got a bottle of in my fridge right now that my buddy made me? Alabama hot sauce or barbecue sauce. The white sauce.
White sauce. Okay. There's only one Alabama white sauce that I like, and it's at a place downtown Birmingham where I work that has a white barbecue. No, it's a white chicken bacon sandwich. And it's got this pepper jack cheese on it. And it's got this fresh applewood bacon. They only use stuff that's farm fresh. And it's got this amazing bread and grilled chicken. And then they put the white sauce on it. And I always ask them for a little more on the side. And I dunk the sandwich and it's got a little bit of heat in it. Oh, it's so good. If you ever come down here for con, I'm taking you there.
My favorite thing that I found so far that I like the Alabama white sauce on is jalapeno cheese bread. Oh. Other than that, I only put it on chicken.
So, Metallic Imperial Batman. Wasn't that the one I had the Robin that I got out of a spastic $250 box. That one hurt a little bit because the value went down quick. Now, the main things I've been picking up, Jerry, few Target exclusives I've kept. I kept a couple extra Grievuses. People were saying, oh, the new one's so much better, or all the old one's so much better. I'm like, guys, if you really look at the difference in the two Grievuses, you have Clone Wars Grievous, where he's very young and not all scarred up and hadn't killed a bunch of Jedis yet, 2 lightsabers. And then you've got the later Grievous before lightsabers, where he's all scarred up and dirty and crazy stuff like that. Only 15 boxes were up, so good odds. Was it on a stream or was it the Whatnot boxes? I saw my grail of a Star Wars pop, y'all. Let me show you something. And Joe, you tell me if you remember me talking about this. So this is the only Padme pop in existence. And what have I always looked for? The actual con sticker. Someone has one, posted the pictures of it. JSA certed, signed by Natalie Portman. I've never even seen the con sticker for this, the ECCC con sticker for sale. Spoiler alert. That's not a spoiler alert. Yeah, Jerry signed. And it was sitting right there with two other really hard to find pops signed. I have a statue of her coming at some point. Hot Toys teased a hot toy of her, but it hasn't dropped, and that was at Toy Fair a year or two ago. I've sold off a lot of my Funko Pops because we just didn't have room. And statue boxes take up the space of quite a few Funko Pop boxes. Some of my new statues that I picked up are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's like eight Funko Pops that takes up the space of.
For a hot toy. Do you know how big the box is? So can you see on your TV the tall guy standing next? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Obi-Wan. Well, I couldn't talk. From the Clone Wars, that is his Mythos statue. His box is freaking massive. Like, we're talking. Did you see the picture I put up of the Jurassic Park bust? The scene that I got that was $1,000 from Iron Studios. It came in a box so big that when you pulled it out, the two pieces of styrofoam had Velcro straps over them to hold them together. But
I watched Adam Savage unbox the quarter scale statue of Mando. And the box on that thing was huge.
Quarter scale?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big ass statue. So most of mine are 5th scale. My biggest stuff is 5th scale. And then your Hot Toys are going to be 6th scale. I've got some 7th scale stuff, and then a lot of 10th scale stuff comes from Gentle Giant.
I think it was quarter scale. It was from Sideshow, because Sideshow gives him stuff like crazy.
Was it the shoulder bust of Mando in quarter scale?
No, it was him, and like his cape came out, and then the child's little bramble set on top of it.
Oh yeah. I remember they dropped that. That thing was big. So let me just, I wasn't going to get it down, but let me grab it real quick. This guy is freaking massive. This is the battle damaged Thanos from Hot Toys. Look how big the freaking boot is.
Yeah.
Look, let's put it to something relative in size. We about know how big a Joy-Con is. His boot is the size of a freaking Joy-Con. And the base he stands on is 4 inches tall. Okay.
Well, yeah, considering, how big he was, of course, to scale, it's going to...
For 6 scale, he's probably 16, 17 inches tall. But the fact that his foot covers a Joy-Con, I found that funny. Because, most people can relate to this. People know what the size of a Joy-Con is for the most part. But you look at your bigger statues. So the Obi-Wan piece or the Maul piece that are the size of him, and because they're statues and not posable figures, the feet are normal sized. The bases are huge and beautifully done. The base on Asajj Ventress is probably one of the best bases on any of the statues I have. Din Urso's, except for the fact that it's numbered 3 of 1,000, is probably the laziest base I have. Just going to be honest. It's the platform she was standing on when she went to rescue her father, and that's about all there is to it.
I don't know. The Death Trooper one was pretty lacking.
I'm talking about statues.
Oh.
I'm out of the Hot Toys realm. Hot Toys don't ever have great bases. I'm talking about statues where the statues peg into them, where your arms are magnetic, so your hands are magnetic. So if you knock them, they come off instead of break.
So there's a guy who does YouTube videos on statues and stuff. Like he trades and wheels and deals them.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. It was the Galactus statue where it had like all the X-Men and everything and all. And it was like, that thing is huge.
So Collector's Own, the guy that Jetta Patrol talks about, his name's Marcos. He's a really nice guy. He immigrated to this country when he was a young man, like 19, 20, 21 years old, and found a way to make a living, married his wife. They're a great couple. He treats his customers as his members. He does Funko Pops, Nesco, Hot Toys. That My Hero figure I sent you came from there. I got a new Bakugo sitting over there that I haven't even showed y'all, that's sitting on top of my fridge, that came from him. But then he also does Iron Studios and then your Diamond Select. And that's when you're starting to talk about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for pieces. And then you get life-size Iron Man or even life-size Geoda, which is still a couple grand. But he'll open stuff on his channel to review it, and he'll talk about like the detail and how they peg in, and if there's any dangers in placing feet in, you got to be careful of this. But he's got some really cool stuff on there. It's Collector Zone, Zone is how it's spelled.
Dang it. Oh, what? They do. Sweet.
What?
So you know how I've been trying to get more of the printed bust, the 3D printed bust for practicing painting and everything? I think I may have found one to practice on.
Nice. Hey, if you want to do me a Star Wars character, though, do Padme.
Either I can't one. Do I
you can't paint skin tones yet?
When I get to that point, I'll do Padme.
Well, I mean, it's so hard to find anything because Natalie Portman will license almost nothing. So when you've got an actress that limits what they'll release, it gets so hard. But I think episode 2 is probably my favorite of the 9 of the Star Wars movies. Some of you people that are old enough to remember them when they were first out in theaters will probably hate me for saying that. But episode 2. Episode 1, it's a little goofy with Jar Jar Binks and Anakin being a kid and the pod racing. But episode 2 is where it really gets to Star Wars. And so why not just get a 3D printer, bro? Print your own stuff.
Because.
How much are you paying for these figures?
$20.
Okay.
The other thing is that because there's a guy here in town who has a 3D printer. Well, he's got 7 of them because he prints for a business. And I went in there one time just to take a look at some of the stuff he had. Dude, it reeks. 3D printers smell so bad.
Yeah, you're burning plastic.
No. This is pourable resin that goes in a reservoir, and it uses UV light to cure it.
Oh, so you're getting the chemical reaction off of
that's old school, dude. That you don't do that for figures because you get all the little lines and layers and like here, let me.
So they're using resin and light to cure it, and you're getting that smell off those resin mixtures.
Yeah. So
they
this
probably
is just a piece. I haven't assembled it yet. That picture I showed you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't. So they're pouring resin in molds, or are they printing that with resin?
It's what it is it's a reservoir that they pour the resin in, and the bottom of it is clear, and there's a, depending on if they have the really high end ones, the 8Ks, there's a laser that goes through that clear film, and it cures, and then it lifts up, and then it cures, and it lifts up, and it cures. So it's basically, it's doing just like the the ones where they melt and they layer it and everything.
Cutting the outline, basically.
No, basically wherever the laser touches, the resin hardens. So it's building micron level layers, which is why when you look at this, and unfortunately this camera won't pick it up, you can't see layers built up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Jody's saying $5,000 for a good 3D printer. Whew. Jody, you might do great at breaking down MetaZoo Hour and breaking down all that footage. I do good at sitting here talking about randomness. But I
mean,
really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Look,
yeah, holding the skull.
That tiny little skull has a jawbone. It has teeth. You can't do that with
laser coming up from the bottom, coming down from the top.
So basically it sits on the thing like this upside down, and it starts with the top of her head, and it does all that stuff. And yeah,
we used to do this every Saturday night, and we'd have the Thursday nights where I would do it with Papa Pop. I tried to get him to come on with us. Jerry, if you want to come on with us, I will drop an invite link. I don't know if you know I have a new Instagram, Jerry. I don't know if you're following the new Instagram.
That's the base, which is like a graveyard scene.
Nice.
And you can see like the tombstone right there. And on the backside of it is a skeletal hand coming up. And
we got the same bot on YouTube leaving comments again. I've made it, guys. There's bots leaving comments on my live videos.
But even this, until I prime it, it smells like burnt resin. I mean,
yep.
It's like a burnt. You ever been in a welding shop?
I know the smell you're talking about. When I used to do Centos First Aid and Safety, I went in places where they poured countertops out of resin, and they used the LEDs and the fluorescent or whatever light source they use to cure it, and it stinks. It's that chemical. It's like when you use the what's the epoxy you can get in the super glue section that you push the two sides out?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The plastic bond or whatever that stuff is. That stuff stinks. What that is the two.
The difference is like the detail in this is not there like it is in those resin ones, because this is just molded plastic.
So it's the difference in a Funko Pop to a Nesgo figure, from a Nesgo figure to a hot toy, from a hot toy to a statue, to a statue to a true art piece. It's just the value a lot of times sits in the details and the quality and time it takes to make the artwork happen. And it's a lot of that stuff you can't replicate. Like the fact that your hot toys and your statues are hand painted.
And that's the thing too, is because I was watching a video and it was on, the line of stuff I watch when it comes to miniature painting and all that. And it was a gal talking. She paints for Sideshow. She does those head sculpts. And that's how she got into it, was painting miniature figures.
Yeah. Oh, they're using airbrushes and water paint techniques where they're splotching.
Yep.
The detail in what you get when you pay for it is always there. The people that take Funko Pops and turn them into customs, or any of your designer toys and turn them into customs, when you hand paint or airbrush, but you take the time to do that individually instead of being done on an assembly line, it's crazy. But think about a Funko Pop. Take something that's not a people pop. So where it's actually got ingenuity in it. Think about what it takes to set up the mold for that figure, the time it takes to dial it in right, and then to paint it or to fill the resin. How much it actually costs to do it, and how many units you have to produce to sell them for $8.99 a piece.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention the box and the artwork. I mean, it's not cheap. So, so what Funko has done, it's amazing.
I'll make you a deal. I'll sell you a gelatinous cube for $20.
What is that?
It's a gelatinous cube from D&D. It's a tabletop figure. If you look, there's like little skeletons and stuff, and
And
there's
then a
a
cube sits
shield,
over them.
and then this piece.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm good though. I don't play D&D. I play games that the story is told for you with the cards you pull, not that you
But
write your own story.
when you're painting a figure that's that big,
So are you wearing anything to magnify what you're seeing?
no. I mean,
So-
if I start getting into some really, really tight parts where I gotta really have control, I've got like an O-ring light that has a magnifying glass in the center, and I can pull that down and just kind of,
For now, pretty soon you'll be wearing those things that the doctors wear when they're going into surgery. I watch a guy, it's like wristwatch restoration.
But I got stuff like crocodile and
Now, did you paint the base too?
yeah.
It looks good.
Well, because the base is
Hey, we got
water.
another spam bot. I would not recommend going to those websites.
But yeah, I showed you some of my stuff, like my beholder that I painted.
That's cool. No, you didn't. You might have shown me that. That's cool. Dude, you should be proud of stuff like that. Get you a little cheap airbrush.
Well, I was on Amazon the other day because I was looking at a thing, and a lot of these guys were talking about you don't paint the minis with airbrush. Like you may do like shadows, like a light mist to create like shadows and stuff. And they said you don't need to buy, if you're just going to be using it for basic stuff, you don't need to go out and buy a $200-$300 airbrush.
Well, no, and even when you watch your artists for these statue companies paint, they use the airbrush for the detail, the texturing on the skin, the shadow from the hair. They
only use the airbrush for 5-6 seconds, and then they're done.
Yeah, for the most part. But think about, did you paint that?
Yeah, I wish the camera would focus better.
If you put your hand behind it, it would do better. Block your face. There we go. Brack it up just a little bit.
But you can't see inside his armor and everything. Like I've painted all the little buttons and buckles and all that stuff. I've done, because we're running a campaign in a jungle thing or whatever. I've done like,
oh, I need that. I need those.
They make T-Rexes and Triceratops. And maybe that's what I should do. Order you a T-Rex and I'll paint it up all blue. Do the old Lucas style T-Rex.
Yeah. You should so do that.
But the thing is like one of my guys was telling me that I talked to. He goes, you can do consignments. People will pay you to paint stuff. And I was like, yeah, just and he goes, some people charge $60 an hour for doing that. And I mean, that's an hour and a half worth of work.
Yeah. Muzo, I was just reading up on the chat, and you said you bought a bunch of boxes of Digimon. Why Digimon?
Are the champions.
I bought something the other day that I still haven't opened. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Hopefully it'll gain value.
Oh, you know what I could probably do to show the detail better now that I'm thinking about it?
When I tell you I literally collect anything and buy just about anything, picked up one of these.
The heck is that?
I don't know. It's the Digimon card game gift box. Never opened a pack of Digimon cards. Why MetaZoo? A buddy that bought for me on Whatnot, Chicken Nug, got me in them. The value was there, and then they had a beastie called the Metal Man of Alabama, and I kind of fell into it. There you go. Now you painted that.
Yeah.
Dude, you could do commission pieces or sell those things on Etsy. Get good pictures, put them on Etsy. Dude, $100, 150 easy a figure.
So there's that raptor I did with all this different skin tone and everything.
Looks good.
Where's the green one? Yeah, see, like with this, you can see a lot better.
Yeah. Now, did you take those in a light box?
No, just a piece of paper, curled it up, shined a light on it.
Yeah, that looks really good. I like. I'm gonna have you some of those things sent that are like risque stuff, and you have to paint them.
I've got some.
Don't show it.
No, but like I've got one. It's like this dwarf chick sitting on top of a barrel of ale, drinking it, and her boobs are all out and everything. And
Thank you.
see, now this one was a pain because the blue just did not want to settle on the skin. But I had to paint like the wood green and stuff in there and all that.
Nice.
But the blue, unfortunately, I didn't have a thinner at the time, so I couldn't get a really good consistency on the skin.
Yeah, I've never opened Digimon. I didn't play Digimon back in the day, so I never got into it. Pokemon was something I had. I have a birthday Pikachu promo on the way that I paid $75 for. That's a $220 card on TCG Player. And I got the one out of Celebrations and wrote my name on it and my birthday and put it in the sleeve like we did when we were kids. I'm thinking about doing it on this one.
What did I do?
So I've still got my full art trainer set. But my prized Pokemon stuff stays in this little one. So I can throw it in a bag, take it with me wherever I go.
I should design you a Pokemon card for your Iron Man Pikachu.
I'm still missing the was it grass energy, leaf energy? Yeah, the leaf energy out of Fusion Strike. I never pulled it. But then I've got gold lands and more golds and more golds. Then I get to my Mew and Mewtwo page. That Mew page is kind of expensive. I've got a Shining Mew, the Core promo, and the Southern Isles Mew. And then my Celebes, I got the Alt Art of Celebi. That Dragonite's probably the most expensive card I have. That's Legendary Collection. But I got my Alt Art Dragonite finally. The Tyranitar at the buffet. But yeah, there's my birthday Pikachu. So that's from Celebrations, but my name is written in there. So I have Lieutenant Surge's Pikachu sitting there. It'll sit there where it's at the actual older promo. It's Bama _J_. Yeah, the gold leaf. That's the one I need. I just haven't gone and bought it. And I'm missing one trainer to make my set fully complete. And it's Shauna? Is that it? I don't know why that sounds wrong.
Let me see if I can find one that's.
Yeah, you can't really see it in my logo, but it's Bama _J_.
No, that one's adults. Female swashbuckler. She's got clothes on, but
so you could make it appropriate or inappropriate. Kind of.
But look at it. Look at that. Look.
Nice.
She's got a booty on her. Yeah, they do make, risque ones. They make all kinds of different ones. The only thing that sucks is when you order them and they're printed, you have to put them together.
Hey, that's bad off center, Mizo. What do you want for it? Because that's the last energy I need from all of the energies that are out now for Sword and Shield. I had a lot of the older ones and I sold those. Wish I hadn't because they're very expensive to replace. I just haven't gone and picked it up. It's the very first page of my binder too. I like the gold energies. I've pulled like 7 fire energies.
Oh.
I got a Greedent V alt art. We should open this Digimon box. Should I open it or leave it sealed? You're collecting them too. Well, if you pull another, let me know. I haven't opened very many packs of Pokemon cards, especially Fusion Strike. I've been very disappointed with pull rates. It hadn't been good. And the things I have pulled that have been good are duplicates. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? My Pokemon hits are sitting in a box. And I've got some bangers, rainbows, golds. I wouldn't get excited if I opened it. Open a few packs of Dragon Ball Z, trying to pull those beautiful cards you see people showing. Never seen one of those come out. Magic's one of those that, unless you appreciate the rare lands, the mystic lands, you don't have much value in your cards. Got a couple dragons.
There we go. There's one I could order and paint for you.
Well, there you go, buddy.
It's Mothman. It's a miniature.
Okay, so that is a different Mothman than I'm used to. But there are 2 Mothman Funko Pops that I kind of want to pick up.
Well, I just think it'd be kind of cool, have on the table if you're playing,
So Mothman's not my cryptid.
Who's your cryptid?
The Frogman.
Frogman?
Yeah. I have this. Jody might recognize this. This is the Nightfall Frogman that Isaac Sky Lee did for NYCC. This is number 26 of 40. I framed it in a $20 frame with a $5 mat. That is a $500 print.
So let's see. So he kind of looks like a miniature because in D&D there is frogmen. So finding one thing is finding one in like a wizard outfit with a scythe might be tough.
You could find him in cut off sleeves with a beer gut and a beer can in his hand. That'd be funny too. We thought about making the redneck frogman when we did my intermediate logo, but he's got a trident in his hand. With Titan, the new game that I am play testing, and we'll be going to Collecticons with. I'm going to play Poseidon. I like water anyways in MetaZoo. That's my forte. There is no way that I wouldn't play Poseidon. Between him, Zeus, and Hades, the first 3 theme decks that'll be out, it'll be all Poseidon.
Well, I'm sure that has nothing to do with the whole Navy thing either,
Might have a lot to frickin' do with the whole Navy thing. And, I mean, Rick Riordan wrote the Percy Jackson books, and they came out when I was late teens, early 20s, but my wife and I still read them. And Percy Jackson was the son of Poseidon, or a demigod. He was a half god. And that kind of resonated. And, I've always, especially with having back surgeries, I'm less stress on my body in the water. I mean, it all just kind of works. When you're in a submarine, the last thing you want to feel is water. That's normally a bad thing. You're not listening to me, obviously.
I am listening to you.
So it's not like down Periscope where when you go in, you hang the string on the wall and it goes in. It's 4 inches thick of HY80 steel on the pressure holes. So they're pressure rated to a depth that I can't tell you because that's still classified, but I can say it's below 700 feet because that's the last depth that accidentally showed on a photo, on a Navy photo, where they forgot to cover a gauge. So we had things that would hang, that were made to hang, that would cover the gauges that were top secret. or classified or confidential, not for public release, when they would take photos. And that got uncovered. So I could tell you I've been below 700 feet. But there is a test depth and there is a crush depth.
Yep.
And you'd kind of laugh if you figured out where the number's set because there's no science behind it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we're not going to go below this number. And we guess if you go this low, it's going to crush. But you have 44 pounds of pressure for every 100 feet down you go at sea, in the sea. So the pressure starts to stack up drastically. That's cool.
I could modify it and cut that club and then carve a can top so it looks like he's holding an empty beer can and then just paint a
or you could just
on him.
You could just probably find a Frogman miniature that someone did because of MetaZoo. It's coming, dude. He's already in talks with Funko. He admitted that in one of his MetaZoo hours. Or maybe it was on Argo stream. I don't know. Somebody asked him. But I can almost guarantee you within about a year or two, they'll have a line of Funkos. I mean, they're in Walmart, about to be in Target and GameStop. When you make it that far in a year, they've already got their first top set out. They're talking about the Space Jam collab kind of stuff coming. Video games are already in development. Their own version of Tabletop Simulator. Where they want to go is crazy. My only fear is if they don't gear it as much towards the players as they do the collectors, they're going to lose out. Because if you don't have a base playing, the collectability goes away. You look at Magic, some of your most valuable cards are some of your most playable cards. Now that looks pretty dang close. I like the belly hanging down.
He just doesn't have the cloak on.
I mean, so that was the Nightfall one. Let me show you the artwork for a non-Nightfall frog.
I thought it would be kind of cool, you know, that way.
Well, hold on. That one's not far off, except he's a little more ready for war, but let me show you. Remember, these are artist interpretations, but here's your first Frogman.
I gotta wait till it pops up on my TV.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
So he's not like super cloaked out like he is in that picture. That was the Nightfall interpretation done by an artist. Here's one that's easier to see. That's cool. Let's let it focus. Is it gonna? I can't reach the camera. All right, let's go close and pull it back. Focus on me. Focus on, there we go.
All right, now I just gotta wait. Yeah.
For as fast as that lens is supposed to grab autofocus when you're showing multiple products, it definitely doesn't. And that's annoying. When I'm playing and I use that for an overhead camera, I'll lock the focus on tabletop height. And that's just because I don't want to have to deal with autofocus. The bokeh lens is great for showing me in focus and leaving the background a little blurry. But I almost don't know that I want to keep that blurriness. It helps the ISO a lot because it's a full open lens. That is not a frog man.
That's a frog woman.
Yes, I don't need that. I need to have something that I can show and not have to hide on the top shelf like my D&D figures. You know what I mean.
Well,
or reincarnated as a slime. My kids haven't seen those. He wants to watch My Hero, and I don't know that I'm ready yet because there's still... It's a cleaner one, but even like Miss Midnight.
Yeah, he's young enough that he wouldn't even...
Yeah, he is. Because he laughs when you say PP up. Like for Pokemon. And you ask him, what does it mean? And he's 11. He knows what it means.
Yeah, I know, but that's like saying that you wouldn't let him watch, X-Men the animated series because of Rogue. Well, no, I guess there are some things that Midnight says that, yeah.
Yeah. And there's some other characters that are questionable in there. The violence doesn't bother me. Bakugo is just a prick. That's all there is to it.
But then again, you never licked a Midnight Pop, but you did lick a Mount Lady.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never owned a Midnight Pop. I've got the.
Oh, those are
I think I
rogues.
still have one. Sue Pop, the invisible one. Somewhere, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of frog folk. A lot of people don't play frog folk. That's why there aren't a whole lot of miniatures for them.
Yeah, there needs to be. We got to start that community. Frogman in MetaZoo is extremely overpowered, but I play water types, so Chessie is the one that I like to play. I'm not crazy about the artwork on the original Chessie, but I do like to play him.
That's
He
cool
is
looking.
a very powerful.
It's a frog wizard.
You'd have to send me a picture of that.
But then, there's the one using the spell. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. Frog only does use magic, his powers, and he is magic proof. He can't be hit with magic. I don't know. There's just something about it I really enjoy.
I thought about, because they look fun to paint. I thought about getting some Warhammer figures.
Well, Jarhead Mizo was asking, "Do you paint Warhammer?"
The only reason I don't get Warhammer is because they come just like a model. You have to cut out each individual little piece and put them together, and I'm just at least with the printed ones, they have a peg system, so all you gotta do is just put a drop of glue and then build them that way. But Warhammer comes on the sprue system, so it's the big plastic piece. You got to cut them out. You got to file and sand and then glue, and that drives me nuts.
I know what you mean.
But what if I put them together for you? Hey, I'd paint them.
Yeah, I mean, you can do what you want to.
I watched the guy he bought one of those $50 boxes, and I was watching him put them together, and I was like, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll put a X-Wing model or an AT model together. That's not a big deal. But when you're working on a miniature,
I like putting Legos together. Not the same thing.
No.
Well, what was funny, we were building one of the Christmas presents that one of my kids got.
That's why I wanted an airbrush miso, is just for priming.
I don't paint figures.
Well, because right now, this is how I prime them.
That's cheating.
If you're not careful, you could screw them up.
Yeah, because you'll pull paint.
Well, no. This is primer. It's made for them.
I mean, they'll start to run though.
But the problem is you can fill in details with it, and with an airbrush, you have a lot more control. So,
and it's coming out as a lot finer mist.
Exactly.
Can't you get an airbrush kit for like $60 on Amazon?
I'm thinking about just ordering one. They actually make cordless. They have a compressor pump that's about 6-7 inches tall, and it's about that big around, and the air line runs to the airbrush, and yeah.
So it runs on rechargeable batteries,
USB. It's got a battery.
Not quite cordless then.
No, I'll show you. Give me a second.
Little reservoir up top, put your paint in.
Yep. No, I watched a video on it because the guy was doing a review, and he goes, honestly, if you're not trying to do detail work with these, if you're just priming and doing shadowing, They work just fine. But it looks like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And you plug it in for a couple
It
hours.
looks like a
into the
vape
USB.
pen, one of those fancy vape pens with an airbrush attached.
Pretty much, that's what it
Wait,
looks
how
like.
big was the paint reservoir on that thing?
Oh, well, that was just a generic one. This is the one I'm thinking about ordering. And it's, it's got the other reservoirs you can put on it.
What's on the end of it? Is that just a graphic of paint coming out?
Yeah, graphic of paint.
How hard are those to clean, though?
Not hard at all.
Just run a cleaning brush through them to get the paint out of them?
The best way to clean them, honestly, is you put some of the airbrush cleaner in the cup.
And just spray it.
Plug it up. Turn the air on. It'll bubble back up through the paint cup. Dump it out. You do that a couple of times. And then once you're done, you just pull it apart, pull the needle out, clean the needle, put it back together.
So you don't want to put like turpentine or paint thinner through them?
No, you don't. With the paints you use in miniature painting, you don't.
It's thin enough, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're painting almost the paint's thin enough that you could do that water texture on them.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. So do you add color to that?
That's just flow improver. It just thins out the paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. It basically, a good airbrush paint should be about as runny as 2% milk.
That's really runny.
Or skim milk. The one that's just thinner than whole milk. Well, look, it's on sale for $64. Not.
Do it.
Man.
Do it. Do it.
Just let me look, see if there's any other ones.
Just do it. I sent my other Shure mic back for this one because I got the same deal. It was $349 instead of $399. I think I only paid like $16 for the cable.
So Jody, the review I watched, the guy says that it's good if you're only going to be spending maybe a minute or 2 minutes, just doing some real basic stuff. But if you got to do like a project, it's not going to hold up.
So what is a good entry level one cost? There's dude, I got attacked by one of those Facebook ads and I want it so bad. It's the DIY Watchmakers Club where you get the kit and you make your own watch.
Oh, geez.
And I watched this guy that does wristwatch restoration. Like I said, when you see him take them apart and the movements in them, so much detail, but so beautiful. So many tools.
This isn't a good airbrush kit. This is like a very low level. I wouldn't even call it a beginner kit, which comes with a standard compressor and airbrush and all that. Those are about $150.
Thanks to all the creators that.
And this is more of a good beginner's one, and they're $300. So
hold on one second.
But from what I was watching a guy who does a lot of airbrush for like pinstriping and everything on cars. He says the best bet is just buy a really good airbrush and line and buy a regulator for a standard air compressor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like less fun.
But from everything I've been watching, these guys were saying that these $60, $70 ones, if you're just doing some basic primer or shadowing on the miniatures, they'll work.
You could put real good blood texture on.
You don't use airbrush for blood texture.
Why not? For blood droplets?
Nope.
Oh, dude, blood splatter?
You use this stuff. It's like a clear acrylic, and you put red dye with it, and then it actually hardens like a blood drop was running.
Okay.
It hardens, and it's super glossy, and it looks like real blood.
But couldn't you spray? So, like, somebody takes that fine mist of blood splatter to the face. Couldn't you airbrush that on and then blot it with the sponge?
The best way to do blood splatter is you get a worn down, no good brush
and
anymore.
Flick it.
And you dip it, and you take a toothpick and you flick it like
Yeah.
that, and it
Doesn't it kind of go everywhere? Kind of like
blood splatter.
you chop somebody's head off when they're angled at you. That's kind of what happens. Me though, it says night, guys. I'm old. Yeah, it's we've been live for almost 2 hours now.
Hmm.
I say we give it a good 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna call it bedtime.
Do I want
I'm
to?
old too. As it gets colder, my knees start to hurt. I don't stand up without making noises anymore.
So this one's actually not a bad one because it's a 32 psi one. I'm gonna wait because
Somebody attacked me personally this week, and we've settled all that. But they made mention of the fact that I mentioned I'm a disabled vet, and then I told them that at 32 I was given a cane because my left leg, the nerve root's dead, and I've had 3 back surgeries, and I have a handicap tag, and it's been 2 years now, and physical therapy just keeps my muscles from atrophying. And he said, "Oh." I said, "Yeah."
yeah, Jody, I've been thinking about buying just the airbrush itself, not the compressor, and a halfway decent airbrush by itself is like $150.
Well, couldn't you just get a tube and blow through it? Like, I've got to have one redneck hack idea. You'd never know it by where I'm sitting, but maybe by the plywood walls behind me. I'm in my shed in Alabama.
Your he shed. Oh. No, I've actually thought about, there's a few local artists that do airbrush and stuff. And I was talking to one about a year ago, and he was talking about how he had bought like 5 or 6 different airbrushes just to find the one that was right for him. And now he's just got a bunch sitting around. I've been thinking about putting a message out on like Facebook, like a local Facebook page, and seeing if somebody would sell
Is
one.
it something that if it's clogged or not well taken care of or maintained, you can repair?
You can't. If it's one of the good models, like an Iowata or what's some of the other ones? If it's one of the upper brand style ones, yeah, you can repair them. If it's one of those ones off Amazon, no. Because like when those needles go bad, once the needles start getting scratched and all that, they don't have a good flow and atomization.
Could you replace the needle?
In the good ones, you can. In those cheap ones, they have like a generic style needle, so it's I mean that airbrush that on Amazon that I was looking at for like $70, you're basically paying for the pump. That airbrush they give you is like a $20 airbrush.
Gotcha.
But
that'll do it.
I'm trying to be responsible with my money and not just buy a bunch of crap. I mean, I did just drop almost $30 on a paintbrush.
You were looking at dropping $100 on 3 of them?
Oh no, I was just looking at them. I couldn't do that. But I did watch a video on how those brushes were made, and I was like, holy crap, no wonder they're so expensive. They're all handmade in England by these ladies who have been doing it for 20, 30 years. And like it showed one lady when she was separating the hairs, because certain hairs have different diameters and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady was doing it like she would feel the hairs and she would pull out the ones and then she'd pull out the other one. It was like, holy cow. Because they're made from the hairs of a Russian weasel.
Yeah.
It's called a Kalinsky sable. And of course, you can find them all over Amazon, but they're not real. Because I bought a set a while back, and I was like, these aren't Kalinsky sable; they're fake. So I actually had to go to an art supply store on Amazon and order it through there.
Gotcha.
Because that same brush I looked up online today, and the local art store here has them, but they're about twice as much.
Yeah, I buy a lot of my stuff on Amazon
Well,
or online supply houses.
yeah, that's the one thing I learned is once you learn to look like art supply store, and then you can go through the supply stores rather than just put in, paintbrush. Then
You
you
gotta know
can,
what you're looking for. When you're looking for a Shure MV7, it's real easy to type in. But when you're looking for like iPad cases or switch cases or keyboards or desk mats, LED strips,
yeah,
you're going to get a million Chinese knockoffs, and then you're going to get your few that are legit
yeah,
sprinkled in. So if you know your brands ahead of time,
yep.
then you know how to find what you're looking for.
Well, and I've also learned too that when you look for a certain brand, make sure you look at who it's sold by, and if it's ching ching chong ching, no.
I like shipped and sold by Amazon because there's a fulfillment center 40 minutes from my front door. So I'm being impatient. Will typically buy things that I can get delivered the next day. Like the little extension pole that goes on here to put your plug in lower so you don't have this big hump and you bend your cables. It was $9 and it'll be here tomorrow. If I'd ordered in like the next hour, so I ordered it earlier. Literally, it packages overnight, goes out on a truck in the morning, and Amazon will deliver it.
Yeah, see, where it says sold by,
Uh-huh.
and it's like it's a Chinese name. You can't
Yeah,
even.
but it's shipped from Amazon, so it's got some bit of legitimacy.
Yeah.
It's about the only way to look at it. But hey, bro, it's 10 o'clock. I know it's like 8 o'clock over there,
Yeah.
but I know you're an old man. You go to bed early anyways.
No, because I've been thinking about starting painting another miniature, so I got all my paints mixed now.
Well, you have fun with that. I am going to go inside, play a little Switch, and go to bed. Guys, I don't know. I still say Pop Life Toys. I say Bama J. I'm Jason. I had names queued in. It was just Jason and Joe. I mean, that's who we are. But I was Navy. He was Marines. We're better, but that's just here, not there. But it is what it
Are
is.
you saying Navy's better?
Y'all ride on our ships.
Don't forget, we're a department of the Navy.
Not anymore, you're not.
We're the men's department.
No, you have your own branch of service. Now we finally got rid of you, jackasses.
Hey, that's why I like art so much, because we eat so many crayons.
Hey, buddy. We had a 2-hour talk on collecting and video games. Say it was a success.
Yep.
Saturday night, it's back.
Maybe.
As long as you don't keep getting sick or me.
Dude.
I'm just now getting my voice.
Cases at work, so I got to be careful.
I'm just now getting my voice back. It went through our entire family. The 3 youngest didn't get it, but the oldest and all 3 adults got it. And it wasn't that we were sick for more than, 24, 48 hours, but it was the sore throat and the congestion and the coughing that just carried for a week and a half. I'm now to the point I don't have to wear a mask in public anymore. I do sometimes, but I have a MetaZoo mask, so it's okay. I have a Frogman mask. All right, guys. Well, this has been Bama J, formerly Pop Life Toys, and Jarhead thinks he's a collector. Y'all have a good night. We're out.